why trading isn't for you. Hi, it's Charlie giving you Wednesday's video and hope you're very well. Now, this video is all about why trading, for the majority of people that get into trading, will never work for them. It will never work for the majority because we all know that the vast majority fail at trading. Whether you're trading stock indices, whether you're trading Forex, whether you're trading stocks, whether you're trading cryptos, then the large majority of people will fail. So let's go through why they will fail and why they should quit, because they might as well. So the first one, I mean, obviously this this list I'm going to put together here is by no means exhaustive. I'm just going to pick a few things here, but hopefully some things to think about. Firstly, we know that if you go to your average broker's site, any CFD broker site in Europe under ESMA rules, they have to disclose how many of their customers lose money, and so very often it will be somewhere around the 70 to 80% mark. You'll see with lots of brokers, that's how many lose money. And so you might say, well, that's okay, because that means 20 to 30% are making money. Well, this is a rolling figure. So it's a rolling figure, and I can't remember if it's done monthly or if it's done quarterly, or what the rolling figure is, but it is a rolling figure. So in any one period, of course, you might actually have someone who is actually a losing trader. The amount of people who I'll come across who say, "Oh, crikey, Charlie, I had this strategy and it worked really well for 4 months, 5 months, 7 months, and then I just lost it all afterwards." So you don't know whether you're a winning trader until you've managed to do it for several years, and then you know that you're a winning trader. So you come across a lot of people who will win in the short term, but then that doesn't continue on. So you could have of that. So let's take the let's hit down the middle, and so let's say it's 25% of traders who are making money when they take this snapshot. Well, of that 25%, of course, some of them might drop out of that because it just so happens that they were making money for that period of time when this data was collected. And so the real figure is probably, I would estimate, is closer to 90%. 90% of people that get into trading will fail. And so that's quite a high number. But it does also mean that probably around about 10% will make it. Now, no one knows the exact numbers, but I'm just going with 90-10. I might be even still being a bit conservative there, but it is a relatively low number. Now, one thing to note here when it comes to these rolling figures, of course, you could have someone who is highly profitable overall in the longer run, who in any one of these snapshots is actually included in the losing numbers here. So of course this is going to work both ways. So admittedly that's going to work both ways, but we're probably looking at closer to 90% of traders who will fail. So really, for most people, it's not worth their while getting into trading, is it? Right, so one of the first reasons, as we all know, why this number is so high is because so many people quit within just a few months of starting. So this overall number here is again going to be including a lot of people who give it a go for a few months, maybe up to 6 months or so, and then just it doesn't work for them. They lose a bit of money, or maybe even blow up an account, put a few £100s, dollars, euros into an account, blow it up, and then think, oh, maybe this isn't for me. So there's going to be a lot of people who didn't even give it enough time within that figure. So, and as always, the longer the time you give it, the better the chance you have of being in that, let's say, that 10%. So a lack of time horizon, of longer term time horizon. So people get into trading, long term time horizon. and they just expect to be profitable straight away. It is ridiculous, isn't it? You don't go into any career and immediately become great at your career. Most people have to be educated for a long time. You go to university, you go to whatever school that you learn from in order to get to that point where you are qualified in the given career that you might be going into. And even if you don't go to university and you go straight out into the working world, then again you're going to have to learn on the job. So it takes time. Same as in sports as well. You don't just pick up a golf club and then immediately become a good golfer. You have to start on the driving range with someone who's probably going to help you. Otherwise, you develop bad habits and all of that, and it takes time. You've got to then take that from the driving range. You've got to then take it across onto the golf course itself, and it takes a long time, as you know, for people to get their handicaps down. So everything takes time. But in trading, people get into it, read a couple of books, and then just think they can immediately become profitable. It takes time because you have to develop the emotional ability to be able to deal with the markets, and so it's not just as simple as getting a strategy. So a lack therefore of patience is probably one of the biggest ones, a lack of patience as well. So people get into trading, I've already talked about, they give it a few months and then they quit, but even the people that stay with it a bit longer, maybe maybe the people who, let me try to put it in here, maybe that 0 to 3 years time horizon, 0 to 3 years, the people that give up within that period, again, I'd still say it's a lack of patience. Maybe they have a lack of patience towards what they're doing. Maybe they're strategy hopping, constantly trying to find the next latest strategy and not realizing that, I mean, it could well be that they're I think the problem with strategies per se is that they do go off the boil a lot of the time, and the problem that we have is lots of people think that just having a 1 + 2 = 3, like a paint by numbers strategy is going to make their life easy, and yet the markets are complex things. And so having a paint by numbers strategy is over time probably not going to always be the best application. So some are, of course, but for a lot of people, that's why you find so many people who are strategy hopping, because they're going from one to another, as opposed to learning a little bit more about the depth of the market and some of these other analytical tools that we can use so that we can make sure that the strategies we're using and employing are being employed at the right time. So a lack of patience, and this is all coming back to patience at the moment, because I've also written down on my bit of paper here, we've got quick gains. So they often want quick gains. They want to be in, they want to be out, and even those who get to that point where they're making a bit of money here and there, they're looking to get in, get out. They don't want to be in their trades too long, so very often they're targeting sort of standard, which is fine, 1 to 2 risk reward, which is very good. 1 to 2 risk reward, they're looking at that sort of stuff, but of course there is room for error on that, and so they're not always going to be getting 1 to 2 risk reward, and so they're essentially looking to get in and get out quite quickly. And of course, the reason they want to do that is because they want to be right as much as possible. So they want to have that higher win rate, because they haven't developed as traders to accept that you can actually spend more than half of your time being wrong, but on the fewer that you're right on, you make way more money. So they're still operating in this zone where they want to be right 60% of the time or more. And so then what you have to do is you have to ask yourself the question is, what is everyone else doing? What is everyone else doing? If I can write this. Okay, so what is everyone else doing out there? So the majority of traders are looking for this sort of stuff. They are looking to be right as much as possible. And the majority of people who get into trading do lack patience. Even those who are sticking at it, they still lack patience. They get frustrated at times and all that sort of stuff, and they're looking for those quick gains. So if that's what everybody else is doing, maybe what you need to do is ask yourself the question is, what do I need to do in order to be different to the majority? There you go. There's some food for thought there for you this week, because we don't want to be doing what the majority of retail traders out there are doing. We know the stats, even those who are trading along and they're still doing it, which is great. The people who are not giving up within 6 months. But what is it if we know that, like I said, a high percentage of them are generally losing money? Then we need to be looking at the sorts of things that they're looking to do and essentially do the opposite. So have a think about what the majority are doing, which is what I've been going through here with you today, and maybe have a reflection on that and see if there's a way that you can approach the market whereby you're not in there with the crowd. Hopefully that makes sense there. By all means, do add some comments and some thumbs up. Are always appreciated on these videos. And I'll be seeing you at the end of the week for more commentary.